one piece of advice that you would give? A lot of the book clubbers are new parents and they have young children, or are teachers with young children, and they don't have any training. What's one piece of advice that you would give them besides reading Uniquely Human?
Yes.
What is one piece of advice you'd give them?
I think one of the most important tips is to understand that there is no ceiling on development, that your child has great potential, and it's up to us to provide the right supports to help your child have a happy life and really reach that potential. And one of the other tips I say is get your child out into the world. The kids I find, and I'm not saying it's not going to be challenging, but if we put the right supports into place, I will tell you, because I have followed some kids I knew as preschoolers for 30 years now. And the individuals who seem to have the best quality of life and who can deal with some of the challenges, despite some of the challenges of autism, because autism poses challenges, are the ones who have a lot of different experiences out in the real world. The kids who, and I understand why this happens, but the kids who are cloistered at home, and parents feel that that's their strategy for helping the family and helping the child, they don't have those experiences that they could learn from.
Right.
So I think that is very, very important as well.
When the kids do go to school and they're learning about a parade, let's say they're reading a book about a parade, but if they've never seen a parade, they don't have that prior knowledge to support their learning.
Absolutely.
I talked about doing things differently over the holidays. Don't sit out completely from the activities. Just find a different way to do them. So if we're going to see a parade, my kids don't do well with a lot of chaos. So we go up on a balcony somewhere. We rent a hotel room in our area that's above the parade so they can see it, but they don't have to hear it, or, they don't have to feel the cold. And so just finding different ways to get out and experience those.
Yes. And you're actually pointing out some very important parts of the CERTS model, that we believe we have this concept that we call authentic progress. I mean, is progress a child being able to label 20 picture cards seated in a classroom,
right?
Abstract concepts or things they may never experience? Or is progress what we and other people in the field call active engagement? And by the way, what you did for your kids, if that is how they can best learn because they're well regulated emotionally and they're not feeling overwhelmed by the noise and the busyness and the movement, if they're watching and interested, that's active engagement.
Right.
So the important piece here is, well, let me just get back to CERTS. We are what we call an activity-based model, that we want kids learning by being actively engaged in meaningful activities in their lives, not being pulled into discrete trial training with repetitive practice in labeling and pointing to and touch your nose and touch your ears, when there's no research that indicates that leads to authentic progress. So, yep.
Right.
And the tips for teachers has to do with understanding that autistic children and individuals have a very different learning style, and that we need to teach in multiple ways, through movement, through visuals, not just speaking to kids. Most good teachers know that anyway. But the other piece I always mention is always see your classroom and your school as a community. And we want all children to feel that they're respected members who are included in the community with all of the children.
Valued.
Totally. That's exactly the right word, that they are valued. And that means educating the whole school community, educating kids in the classroom when necessary if a child's behavior is so different that it's confusing to the other children. That we all have to model that as adults, but sometimes we have to teach that directly. I wish I had that question ahead of time. Let me tell you why. My publisher, Simon & Schuster, asked me to make some short videotapes when the book just came out. So I have a videotape that's called 5 Tips for Parents Following an Autism Diagnosis.
Oh, wow.
I have another, they're short, they're 3 or 4 minutes each. And then I have another videotape that is called 5 Tips for Educators. So if you go on the Amazon page for Uniquely Human, you will see those links to those videotapes on the Amazon page for Uniquely Human.